Hello, Judge Napolitano's sources and him and judges, A through Z, they have been leaving out, as the breaching method knew they would leave out, the scientific value of the breaching method slash S, because it forced roles with itself. This is why and how you guys would even pretend that you could debate legitimately that our founders communicated for us not to leave out how the employments, their worth as employment is not as that. It's more, in many ways, more so used by the breaching method. A whole bunch. Judge Napolitano sources have roles with Connecticut governors and senators and their family members and mayors with Central Connecticut State University in New Britain, Connecticut, whether he realizes or not. To an extent, he must realize if he heard my posts, because I was attached to fake conversations. Weathersfield police have wire mail crimes, switching and forging names with them. They've been forging evidences and fake conversations with kids and adults, with doctors, foreign and domestic, on a Hartford Hospital. And Anthony Yagman also confessed and recorded roles with them with wire crimes and evidences crimes of Weathersfield police. And he has roles with the doctors, a Dr. Dingleberry and a Dr. Dewberry and a Dr. The whole bunch of medical doctors in the family Leahy, men and women. They've been fabricating fake transcripts and evidences with prosecutors and judges of various natures of courts and former director of the FBI, Robert Luskin, and retired Weathersfield police chiefs involved with the Cololo family, per their officers, and per Bob Chase of Phil Cololo. And they also have wire crime, falsified police reports, child abuse, more with the principal child offender. Police Chief Cintron is recorded, confessed, demonstrated, confirmed by his sources, involved with his daughter, Till, Jessica Cintron, and a modern pastry in a Mazzucato bakery, is involved with a Jonathan Maiano and a Mazzucato family, who is involved with the Whiting forensics with state police and FBI and other police forms, retired police forms with child offenders. These are, and their neighbors are involved with this. There's the Domain family and people tied to them, and all along the conjunctions to Route 175 and Route 3 are involved with criminally foreign influence, tactically delusions wrought through three branches of government and the intelligence tied to them, including a Kuwaiti general involved intercities with these families. Like a police chief, Cintron has a Reno Mazzucato. I don't know his sister and brother's name, but they have roles with the World Trade Center attack, all sides, and they force Saudis to collusions with them with various natures of organized crime and co-defendants, a former director of the FBI, Robert Luskin, and their lawyer, involved also with all sides of the criminal and civil cases, including in the Ninth Circuit Court in the World Trade Center attack context, and with buildings next to them, and the court itself post-dated legal papers from inside the court that day. Because there's the difference between all sides, and that are the ones involved with predicate acts against me. WFSB attached me to fake conversations with themselves, also as confirmations of their roles, leading up to year long term and short term with the World Trade Center attack. In that context and since, they have roles with through and different ownerships of the businesses at the corner of Elm and houses. At the corner, there's an Oliveri family at the corner of Elm Street in Route 3 in Weathersfield, who's also involved with the corner of Elm Street in Rocky Hill and Route 3, with a whole bunch of people tied to my neighbors involved with predicate acts with them, with Weathersfield police, state police, families, interstates, and FBI, and their teachers, their educators are also involved in interstates, and with more World Trade Center predicate acts that were also not just internationally leveraged, timed collusions with them. Has something to do with their roles with town lines, but also Town Line Drive. The corner of Town Line Drive and Southstein Highway has workers and owners of the businesses recorded, confessed, demonstrated, confirmed they have been affected to federal crimes with the intelligence community associated with them. A Mike Kerr, a Jerry Kerr, more than one Jerry Kerr, a Joe DeMoro, and a Ray Collo recorded, confessed, demonstrated, confirmed they have federal evidences, crimes, roles there. They involve roles with wire crime, and their roles with falsified police reports with police that also pretended I had a conversation with them as a kid, because the kids ate that falsified police reports with also gave Chris Walters gave an affidavit. He was used to plant evidences with a whole bunch of overt criminal enterprises and private ones associated with a Dillon family and retired Weathersfield police chiefs involved with foreign and domestic medical families, private criminal enterprises, overt ones, and these are not legitimate undercover with their acting co-professors too, because WTNH, Fox Connecticut News, and WFSB have all kinds of federal evidences, rackets, and identity theft, fraud, slanders with people on corners of streets planting evidences on off campuses, collusion/S. A whole bunch of people tied to Central Connecticut State University in New Britain, Connecticut, had roles in the World Trade Center attack that were first leveraged as their roles planting predicate acts with facts into databases. And everyone speaking through others maintained consciously. That is recorded also. Also, I don't know the Nick Sweet. He sought me out on Facebook and one time in real life to record, confess, demonstrate, confirm. He's one of the ones that were planting evidences on all sides of the roles. I never saw him on a campus in my life. A whole bunch of people tied to him involved with the agencies in Weathersfield Police and Fred Grisette recorded, confessed, demonstrated, confirmed all kinds of predicate acts with the campuses, with judges and prosecutors and foreign bodies involved. And people on my street tied to him. I didn't know that were tied to him. He sought me out as a stranger to make confessions tied to this. They have rackets with the names next to Trinity College with themselves planting evidence against me. And as the same ones that people next to Central Connecticut State University in New Britain recorded, confessed, demonstrated, confirmed this. And these are the ones intercities from Weathersfield, Rocky Hill, Newington. Weathersfield Police, Newington Police, Rocky Hill Police, New Britain Police have predicate acts with people that live near me and that used to live near me, named Cololo O'Brien and D. Simone. Harvard Hospital also confessed the name D. Simone and Casper. There's a Chick Casper and there are others with the name Casper involved planting predicate acts at campuses, fake ties, fake natures of ties to other kids that weren't even in their classes. And they're playing little coward games also with a Pat Vincent. Both Pat Vincent and Chad Casper are bigger than me. And Pat Vincent, he's with the Marines. You know, he's playing a coward little coward Marine games. You have Marines, Air Force, Navy involved. There's a Paul Kelly with his neighbors are also involved with the news. WTNH planting evidences at corners with WFSB and Fox Connecticut News. And Alison Mulcahy is also one of the ones with recorded, confessed, demonstrated, confirmed by her boyfriend, who yelled out things about her. Also with at a different time than but he was all right with my algebra teacher. Yelled about sexual ties to my neighbor, a little girl. I never even got to meet. I never even met her. I don't even know what she looks like. In other words, they yell out things and they pretend that you responded or know them. You know, then they sequence shift while they're doing that. These are people on a mass scale pretending they don't understand people or they can't speak straight. If you speak straight, you're going to be speaking as a psychopath. In other words. So there's a judge Napolitano judging freedom. And he's got all these serious topics. They're still using those wars. They have people with Ukraine and Russia involved with the FBI and CIA and Weathersfield Police. And he's at Hartford Police, Rocky Hill Police, with the same houses involved wire crimes with them and preventing their switching names into branch. Fear God. Their cousins are involved also. The whole bunch of ways they have roles with the World Trade Center attack and with the differences of sides. They forced Saudis to collusions with them. And Saudis forced them to collusions with the Saudis because there was another name involved that keeps individually grouped in together, suits and ties, counters, and exceptions as collusion, /s, and keeping other things, others ourselves, rather than itself in the breaching method, which a breaching method is a scientific value demonstrated by nature itself, let alone also our founders. What's really recorded, they want us to understand the nature of laws and how that roles with that manifest and sustained had also generated all kinds of other natures of apparent and real interests and motivations. But even the real ones were not really why and how they were putting finite, grouped, and simultaneous, federal evidence is racketeering worse than war crimes roles and pretending not to realize. So we have left out how really and why really slavery was left entrenched in the North and South, even during the Civil War. Both the North still had roles with slavery, sickly distinctly from the South, and how sickly non-distinctly was left out. And it was used to measure and maintain self-valued roles with it left out by the breaching method that maintains our education. So we have experts using the knowledge of good and evil, for example, to use a phrase from the Old Testament, but two, only because they bring up those religious books and their readings of them are tactically delusions wrong, criminally foreign influence, whole bunch of fakes at interstates, locations, areas, and states. They want to force, check, hurt, and persuade presidents to entertain that. In other words, on a mass scale, all kinds. Sandy Hook has roles of these same names involved with child offenders, leaders of kids. They first forced them to. So the state judicial branch and the state corrections offices, all sides of criminal civil cases in courts and prisons tied to them, and the state corrections and judicial branch offices with names next to them. The difference of that is used also. Wethersfield Pizza has predicate acts and wire crimes with Wethersfield police, and there were recorded, confessed, demonstrated, confirmed involved at Central Connecticut State University in New Britain, Connecticut, with people involved at Wethersfield campuses through time and intercities campuses involved with child offenders, identity theft, fraud, falsified police reports. These are not legitimate unmarked roles. With also their neighbors. Brian Bonin sought me out to record, confess, demonstrate, confirm this. He has roles with the Red Claw and Joe DeMauro and a Wethersfield Pizza with a Mark Violet and a Red Claw, and they pretend to like each other, not, and they're planting evidences with people next to the state capitol, and like this Robert Chevrolet. Robert Chevrolet has a whole bunch of people tied to him and locations associated with him, involved leading up to the World Trade Center in that context and since. Also with courts, family members, and intimate ties that affected confessions to me and requests for help. I never met Dean Judd in my life. Dean Judd and his family members were influenced the roles of predicate acts and forced Saudi's roles. They don't even know themselves because everyone's changing and faking what's actually recorded before the World Trade Center attack. Also, as people I noticed at the World Trade Center attack locations right before it, and as the court itself had, it was proven after the attack, in the attack context, inside the court, they had post-dated papers that had been brought to the court and time-stamped at the court timely. But then they post-dated it from inside the court to appear late. That was proven after the World Trade Center attack. And that led up to a 2006 district court case with a former director of the FBI, Robert Luskin, is involved also before that, before the World Trade Center attack and through it, with people at New Britain Central Connecticut State University and Trinity College, and names next to them were affected to take roles with predicate acts and federal evidences crimes with my neighbors from Wethersfield and people tied to them. They have roles with the intelligence family and foreign countries and overt criminal enterprises there, even if they are unmarked police forms. They're not legit, in other words, and they have a Kuwaiti general involved and deans of campuses I didn't even go to too. And Middlesex Community College recorded, confessed, demonstrated, confirmed their Facebook pages involved with this. Facebook also has the owners of the people involved with the Facebook from Wethersfield are involved also, since their educators are also involved with the inter-campuses, intra-campuses, with predicate acts, with facts, with their departments, their differences. So they're pretending that people can't speak clear because they're fabricating conversations on a mass scale to keep a whole bunch of, People using their difference, their knowledge of good and evil to get over on correlation nature. So it is very important that we get the World Trade Center predicate acts in the news collusion /S at all locations on paper with the interbranch switching and forging names and corrections in judicial branch offices of Connecticut, roles of the World Trade Center attack demonstrated, recorded. They should fear God to be speaking about wars and things like this while hiding that and pretending that it's about logistics or whatever. What are they doing with UConn, with the computers and intelligence? All kinds of scams at Hartford Hospital with the names next to it, like a Jonathan Maiano, Ilo's Kitchen, and at Tomorrow's Market, where it was then and now next to, it used to be next to Harvard Hospital. A whole bunch of people. There's also a Lenny Triglia. People would sought me out. His mother would sought me out to confirm it. You know, they're people attaching me with fake conversations, change conversations with everyone around me too. I never saw Lenny Triglia on a campus in my life. He has roles with intelligence communities at Central Connecticut State University, people that live in my area that used to work with the military, involved with the foreign and domestic militaries with it. One shouldn't have to beg all this time, too. Please, Judge Napolitano, do what's right. Get them on paper. One name and sequence. Let's get them on go paper. Let's go.